Hello and welcome to Happily Hired with Heart. My name's Alex and let's continue our series on interview questions. So for me, another really difficult interview question is, tell me about a weakness that you have. Now, the responses I get to this are, they just tell you your weakness. And I'm like, okay. Or I'm like, I don't have any weaknesses. Now, first of all, let's address with, I don't have any weaknesses. Everybody has a weakness. I don't like the term weakness. I prefer the term, it's something you need to work harder at or something you have to do, put more effort in, have more of a growth mindset to deal with that. But look, if I pick myself, I'm human. All humans have weaknesses. There's no such thing as perfectionism, as you probably gathered from these videos, okay? Now, if you're saying you don't know what your weaknesses are, then there is one way I would support you in that. To find out what it is, ask your friends, families, previous co-workers. You could do this in person, but my opinion is you should use 360 feedback. So, how would I use 360 feedback in terms of supporting you, finding out what your weaknesses are? So, I would send a Microsoft form or whatever, a Google form, whatever that looks like, to friends, family, colleagues, people who have hobbies, and ask about, first of all, let's start with, in a sentence, how would you describe me, okay? You could ask about, what are the 3 qualities that I have that makes me a good person? Then I would say is, what are my blind spots? What is my area that I find challenging, okay? And just those 3 questions will help you get an answer, because obviously you want to start on something positive, you want to get some positive feedback. We all like positive feedback. But actually, you've got that question where you can find out and get the actual feedback, okay? And then you can problem solve it. So when they give you that, you can think, oh, hang on, I hadn't thought about that. Because it also could be the fact that you've got a blind spot, okay? So it's really important, and to keep it anonymous as well, because that's when you get true feedback. But just make sure you've got someone else that you could talk through with. So again, it could be a member of the family, it could be a co-worker, it could be a best friend, okay? Just to keep yourself sane, yeah? So also, when you do have a weakness, what the interviewer is looking for is for you to say how you overcome that weakness. So yes, state it, okay? State what it is, but what do you do to overcome it? Now also, before I go into the example, it's not going to be something like I drink too much or I smoke. It's got to be work related, yeah? Okay? Now, that's key. I've had those sort of responses before, okay? So, you've got to answer the question, give me a weakness that you might have, you've got to actually state the weakness, and you've got to say how you overcome that weakness. So, let me give you an example. My weakness is I'm a people pleaser, hence why I wear my t-shirt with Doug. If you know, you know, okay? Now, let me answer the question. Tell me a weakness that you may have. So, my weakness is I like to say yes to people, okay? I like to people please. I like to show that I'm doing and being part of a team. However, by doing that, I find myself that I become overwhelmed by work and actually I'm not hitting my targets that I need to, okay? Now, the way I overcome that is by by using my calendar or using lists. And if every time I have a task, I see where I could put it in my calendar or list and prioritize it. And if I can't do it, I will either delegate it to someone else or I will put it into another date. It keeps me, therefore I'm still helping people, but I am prioritizing things, okay? Can you see how that works? It's as simple as that, yeah? It doesn't have to be a massive sentence, it doesn't have to be waffle, it just needs to be you, okay? And that's really important. And don't be nervous about sharing your weakness, because the interviewer will have weaknesses too, okay? So, as I always say, you're not on your own, and you have more sparkle than you know.